Oh, hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday morning. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you right here for the next couple hours, getting you ready for all things week 6 across the NFL. Injury updates, rankings updates, news updates, everything in between. And of course, breaking down that crazy, Adam, Thursday night football game between the Giants and the Eagles. Giants, Cam Skattebo, the people's hero. I don't know, Jaxson Dart, the other people's hero. What a duo. How you doing? How's it going?
Yeah, doing well. Obviously, that was a big surprise
I
for
know.
many, and you have not seen that much energy with the New York Giants in a long time, and they just took it to Philadelphia and put a whooping on them.
Crazy. 34 to 17. 34 to 17. New York Giants win this game. And listen, both of them. Cam Skattebo had 3 touchdowns. You saw Jaxson Dart in the post game, and he went 17 of 25 with 195 passing yards, 1 touchdown. And something we always love, Adam, for fantasy football, 58 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. This was phenomenal for them. Hand up, I did not believe that they were going to win this game. Thankfully, though, I did not pick them in any survivor picks or anything like that. But I bet some people did. But after what we've seen with the Eagles, I just wasn't feeling great about it. But Cam Skattebo, he scored in the second, third, and fourth quarters. He carved them up too. He had 98. He was just 2 yards short, but 98 of the Giants' 172 rushing yards, 19 carries, had an average of 5.2 yards per carry. And the Eagles, I don't know. They came into this game 4-1. Giants were 1-4. They came coming off that Saints loss last week, and we talked about this yesterday. One of the keys, I should say, was just protecting the football. Yesterday they just had some issues with that, and this was a phenomenal game for them. Even like Dart went down, we thought he was going to maybe be out with a concussion or some kind of injury, goes back in, but this was just such a fun game to watch. So shout out to the Giants. That was a good one.
Well, I'm not going to go that far.
Oh, come
Let's
on, no,
relax.
say
Nah,
something nice
no,
about the
I
Giants.
got to be on. I mean, two teams I dislike, so it's kind of tough. But the Giants. You got to give them credit. The game against the Saints, they started well, and then they started to turn the ball over and lost that game, which for them was disappointing coming off a win against the Chargers. But they bounced back and they have some energy. It was talked about a lot in the post game, and with the energy that especially Skattebo brings to this. Team. He even mentioned it when he came there. He didn't see it, and he wanted to inject some of it into the team, and it certainly filtered throughout. Dart. The only thing with Dart is he plays too reckless. Like this is
Man,
not going to
that
last. Like
that
he
run
led with
down
his
the right
head.
line. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like you
Yeah.
cannot do that as a quarterback. Now we love it for fantasy because especially the rushing yards. Another game where he easily went over his prop, and
What was
he's
that
getting
set at?
it was 36 and a half. I didn't I
Okay.
played it the last 2 weeks. I didn't play it this week. I was a little worried, but I guess I should have just went in again,
Just
but
keep
I did
going.
not. But yeah, he keeps getting the carries every single week. It's now since he started 10, 7 and 13 and at least 54 yards rushing in each game, 2 rushing touchdowns. So, I mean, you love that aspect for fantasy. They're not asking him to pass a lot. I mean, they had the lead in this one, so they
Hmm.
didn't need to do much. He only had 25 pass attempts. And we saw that too. I think it was the Chargers game too. He didn't pass that much. Yeah, 20 pass attempts because they had the lead in that one as well. When they were playing more from behind against the Saints, 40 pass attempts. So most weeks you're probably gonna expect them to play from behind. I think they have Denver next
For
in
sure.
Denver, which is always tough, and then of course they get Philly again. Who knows what's gonna go on with Philly by the time we come back for
Gosh.
that game again? But yeah, you're with Dart. He's on that borderline QB1, high QB2, just because especially the rushing yards. There will be some weeks where he doesn't pass much, and they want to primarily run the ball. But when you have a quarterback, when we said it we knew he was going to start and the floor is high because of his ability to run, and we're seeing it. I mean, he's given you
Yeah.
in 2 games just on rushing alone 11 points before even tossing the football. So you love to see that. And yeah, Philadelphia had a lot of injuries and everything, but I'm tired. I don't want to hear that excuse because
No. What are we
last
doing?
Thursday night, San Francisco had a ton of injuries and beat a better team in the Rams. So there's no excuse. I mean, this team just looks terrible right now, and there's so many stats that show you just how dysfunctional things are. I mean, obviously the offensive line is a problem. I mean, Saquon Barkley is getting 0.33 yards before
It's
contact
insane.
per
I don't
rush
know what we're
attempt.
doing over there.
And check this out. So the last 3 games for Philadelphia, they've had 16 second half drives. 9 3-and-outs, and only 2 scoring drives.
Wow. Wow. I mean,
And a
it's
lot of
just
times it's so predictable. Run, third and long, pass.
that's what
Or
Lane
then it's
Johnson
pass,
said.
pass, pass.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
He said it after the game. He said the keys to improving was to be, quote, less predictable. It's bad over there. And it's crazy to see these two, because it just felt like two totally different teams on different trajectories last night, right? I mean, you have the Giants, who are just, the fans were into it. I mean, you could tell that the duo of Skattebo and Jaxson Dart are into it, the coaches, everything. And then the Eagles, it's almost just like, man, you're watching them and you're just saying, this really can't be the team that we've seen not only last year go to the Super Bowl, but go twice in a row. It couldn't be the same team. So for me, especially when I look at the Giants, you said it, they're gonna lose again. That's something that's just going to happen this year. But there's no way to escape the idea that maybe this was a transformative win. And again, that could be an overreaction, but I've seen the word transformative a lot with this team and this organization, especially after last night. But this victory feels like one of those moments where if they continue on to have a better than we expected season, we probably look back at this game and say, yeah, that's probably where it started. So it was a nice turnaround for them.
Yeah, it's not even about where they finish or wins. It's that they actually have some hope now because they believe they have their quarterback. And
Yeah.
also, it's the first time in 10 years they won on a Thursday night. And Skattebo was saying, they were asking him about all the Philadelphia stuff. So he's like, I don't know any of it. I just know that I saw today we haven't won in 10 years on Thursday night, and I wanted to change that. So, yeah, there's a different energy, too. Like,
for sure.
Giants have not had this energy in a long time. So, yeah, they might lose the next 4, but they're hoping that they found their quarterback, a running back that is just dishes out punishment too. He's another guy too that I cannot see having a long career either.
I was telling my dad that yesterday. I was calling him because Skattebo, Arizona State. We always break it down, and I said, how long can you keep this up? Right, maybe 3 years, of running so recklessly like that. But we love it in the moment. But I was
You have to
literally just
enjoy it
talking
now.
about that.
Yeah, you
but I was
enjoy
just,
it now. You
uh,
enjoy it for your fantasy teams. You hope you didn't go against them. I didn't check all my leagues, so I don't know. I'm afraid to
yeah.
open it
Don't
and
look.
look.
Don't look
I
yet.
do know I was going against Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Smith, and
Someone had all three of them on
yeah,
one team.
and I was driving
Wow.
home on the way back, and I listened on the radio when when Hurts missed Smith for that potential 89-yard
Gosh.
touchdown. I was like, yes.
It's just,
That was
and
another
as
miss. And then Hurts with that awful interception.
what is going
And
on over
and
there?
AJ Brown was open in the end zone. Did you see
Yes.
that?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
even, I mean, we talked about this yesterday, and even as when we were talking about Dallas Goddard, I mean, what are we like the way that they are using, I don't know, the way
I
that they
look,
are using some of these guys is just mind-blowing to me. It
when your
doesn't make sense.
offense is featuring Dallas Goddard, no disrespect to him. When you
No,
have
not at
AJ
all.
Brown and Smith, that's a problem.
What are we doing? Like Dallas Goddard had 9 receptions. He had 11 targets last night and 110 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. He scored you 26 fantasy points. So you're happy about it. But
Well,
on the other
I am.
side,
I had to start him,
exactly.
so
On the
I'll
other side,
take
you
it.
shake your head though, and you're like, what is happening here? Jalen Hurts again. I mean, if we're talking from a fantasy angle, which is way different than just regular NFL when we're talking about this loss for them, but he got you 20.6 fantasy points, so you're at least happy with that. AJ Brown, I think, had a salvageable day. He finished with 14 ESPN full point PPR scoring, and then Devontae Smith, I was texting you last night, 8.9 fantasy points. That's not fun. Saquon Barkley 8.7 is just something we cannot and we should not get used to, but you just never know with this team. It's been, I mean, he's given you 18-17. He had the 9.5 against the Rams, 17-17, 8.7. It's so up and down, but you're right. When you're featuring Dallas Goddard, something just isn't making sense here against the Giants.
Goddard has 5 touchdowns on the season. That already ties a career high that he had in 2019. That was the thing with Goddard. He's never been a big touchdown guy, and he's reliant on one of the other 2 big receivers being out, and that's not the case this year. He's got 24 receptions in 5 games. So
I don't know.
And then meanwhile, you have AJ Brown having a lot of down games, and Smith too. Like, these are 2 of the top receivers in the NFL, and they're just not getting the football. And you could see the body language, their emotions, the comments after the game. This is like reminiscent of 2023, where it was a longer. Where were they 10-1 and then fell apart? But it's already starting. Like, if you just watched this game and you said, "Hey, you didn't know anything," You said which team is 4-1, which team's 1-4? You would have said the Giants were the 4-1 team coming into the game.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And it is so confusing to watch this Eagles team like that, because the other part is just that you see little spurts of success during a game, but then they just don't equate to fantasy point, or I should say real points, and then fantasy points as well. Like they just can't sustain what they're doing. And so to me, they also have not what, 9, 8 Pro Bowl caliber players on their team. So it's just every single time we watch this team, you just kind of shake your head. And so you were saying some of the stats. I mean, they had 2 3-and-outs, 1 4-and-out, and 2 turnovers in a scoreless second half. And that's
That's
just how you
insane
lose
against
football
this
games.
Giants defense. You
Yes.
don't score in the second half. But again, that's been the problem the last 3 games, because the Denver game, they had a 17-3 lead and lost that game. So there's just it's a lot of issues across the board. I mean, that Wan'Dale Robinson touchdown, how does he score
I
on
don't
that?
know.
Like, what? The
Wan'Dale
tackling?
Robinson had 20
Yeah, a
fantasy
massive
points.
game.
Six receptions, 84 yards, 1 touchdown, and that was off 7 targets for him. It was a good game too. Shout out to Wan'Dale Robinson and anyone who started him.
Yeah, and on paper it was a tough matchup.
Oh yeah.
And going
I can
against
see if
in
people
this,
faded and just said, you know
I
what, I might have a better option. I think,
yeah, I could have
especially in
seen
my
that.
rankings, you probably did have better options. I don't know. It was just shout out to the Giants, but what this Eagles team, I mean, so they entered the game ranked 26 in rushing with 95.3 yards per game. And they finished, just to set the table here, they finished second in that category in 2024, right? 179.3. So Saquon Barkley having, what did he end up with? 58 yards?
Yeah, and
It's
he had
just,
31 yards on his first 2 carries.
I
And
don't
I
get
guarantee,
it.
and I know a lot of people were on his overs, and
Mhm.
they probably felt good. 31 yards and 2 carries start the game. You're like, all right, here we go. And he didn't even come close.
There's not much we can say. It's just one of those things where you're going to be, if you have, again, Jalen Hurts got you fantasy points. You will,
He
you will take, you will
he
take AJ
did, but
Brown's day, but it's
even
not,
he's not running
no,
as
I
much
know.
anymore. He has 3 games now of 15 rushing yards or fewer. Last week against Denver, 2 carries for 3 yards. This week, 7 carries, 13 yards, and a touchdown where 4 straight tush push plays like to get there.
Yeah,
So
what did you, the internet was going, I mean,
I
Twitter
know.
was just exploding, which I kind of get. When you run it 4 times in a row, it's like, come on,
Well,
let's do
look,
something
here's the
else.
thing. Is it fun to watch? No. But
No.
I am on the side. It's like, well, stop it. Because every other team has the opportunity to do it, and many of them
Fair.
cannot perform it. But I think it sounds like we're going to get closer to where maybe
Yeah.
it gets
The
bad.
people don't like it
Yeah.
anymore. They don't
But yeah,
like it.
look, to watch that 4 straight plays, it's not fun. It's just not.
No, no, it was just, but
And the
like
other
you said,
problem
stop
is,
it.
how many times are false starts on it that they
Oh
don't
yeah,
call?
they had another like a video camera angle of one that they missed in the, I think it was the second or third time they tried it. But regardless which time it was, the refs miss it because they can't see it. I don't know. What to do with the Eagles also is just going to be the big question. Again, there's nothing really you can do. Again, Jalen Hurts got you fantasy points. AJ Brown at least got you 14. So you don't love it, especially with where you took him in the second round. And Devontae Smith is just there, 8.9 fantasy points. The Eagles
So
next, what?
with Goddard, though, is he like now just you play him every week?
We had this conversation a couple days ago. I said I think I would start Goddard ahead of Mason Taylor, and I said it was disgusting and it was gross, but I had him at 9. How can you, unless they
Yeah.
change it, how can you not have him ranked at least inside the top 10?
So he has 5 touchdowns on 24 receptions. So almost 1 every 5 receptions he's scoring. Now they are setting up some of those plays near the goal line for him now, which is probably pissing everyone else off of that
Well,
team.
probably. I mean, he had
Uh,
11 targets though.
and he
Until
has
you see
20.
that change,
He has
and
20
he
the
gets
last
less
2 games.
volume,
So
you just
yeah.
have to respect it and be like, okay, well, we don't necessarily like you, Dallas Goddard. We do for fantasy, but like we would rather not have to rank you inside the top 10, top 8. But I think if they ever make a change, then we have to just keep going with what they're doing, and it's feeding and featuring Dallas Goddard in the year
Look,
2025.
I am very happy for what he did last night because I
Yeah, you
started
said
him
you
in
had
a
to play
league.
him.
Yeah. So right now at tight end points per game in
Don't
PPR,
do this.
he's number 2. Ferguson is 1.
Oh my gosh.
Goddard's 2. Kincaid is 3. So
We can never buy high price tight ends ever again.
well, we typically don't. I
No.
mean, I
Not
didn't buy
usually.
Bowers. I did take McBride in one or two,
We liked
and
Kittle. I should say we
I
liked.
did like yeah,
Yeah,
Kittle. I did get in a couple, and I think Kittle would have smashed if he stayed healthy. We saw what he did
we
in
need him
what a
back.
quarter, in a little
Yeah.
over a quarter, and with everything going on in San Francisco. So, but the other risk with Kittle is that the injuries. Even though if you go look at the games played the last few years, he hasn't missed a lot of games. This is the first time he's missed at
Mm.
least 4 games, and I guess now it'll be game 5 this week. But yeah, I guess we can say that every year. The key is, are you on the right tight ends that are going late, right? It's not like everyone was on Ferguson, Goddard, Kincaid. Maybe there are a handful of
Yeah.
people, but it's not like those were the consensus guys to get.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me this list of Dallas, this was before pre Thursday night football, but the points per game, fantasy points per game that we were talking about, full point PPR yesterday. I mean, if you would have told me something about Darren Waller, Jake Ferguson, Dalton Kincaid, and then Dallas Goddard, I would have been like, no, that's not on my bingo card. That's not going to happen. But here we are. We've got a lot of season left, but Dallas Goddard seems to be the one. Congrats on starting him last night. I love that for
Well,
you.
I had
Even if
Hawkinson
it
on
even
bye, so I kind of had no
even
choice.
if it was unintentional, good for you. Eagles next. Let's do 5. Vikings, Giants again, Packers on the road, Lions at home, Cowboys on the road. And then their bye is week 9. So they've got a week 9 bye, Philadelphia Eagles with the Browns,
Yeah.
the Jets, the Eagles, the Bucks. So it's not even like they can have a reset soon. It's going to be a few weeks.
Well, yeah, they got 2 games and then the bye.
Yeah.
They need the bye this week, but
Well, that's why I said they're not going to get the reset. They have to keep going.
they do get the extended bye with the extra
Well, I get you
few
think
days,
something's going to change in the next.
but they go to Minnesota,
Mhm.
who will be coming off a bye and getting a healthier.
I don't know. There's nothing you can do. You have AJ Brown. You just have to roll with it. You have Devontae Smith is one maybe, I don't know, but you just really do have to roll with it.
I mean, his numbers were better than Brown coming into the game. And look,
Mhm.
we can do this every game. I mean, that he was wide open though. That
I
should have been
know.
a completion, and that would have been more than likely 89-yard touchdown. But we had the same situation with AJ Brown last week. Although I think that route he slowed down. That was more on him. But yeah, you can understand why AJ Brown is frustrated. That
Well, yeah.
interception that he threw, you cannot make that throw to the sideline. I mean, it was clear. AJ Brown's open in the end zone and a blitz is coming. You got to see that. It would have been a touchdown if he sees the right play. And that changed the game because they were still in the game at that point. It was 27-17. And, they score there. It's 27-24, and they're right in the game. And that was the game-changing play.
What a horrible day for Philadelphia sports fans.
What a shame.
Uh, I know you're so sad about it. Shout out though. I mean, man, Cam Skattebo, just keep going. 34-17, keep pouring it on, and then Jaxson Dart also just with a great game and a Giants win. So there you go. Are they on a bye next week?
The
They
Giants, no. They
no,
go
they're
to
not.
Denver.
When is their bye? I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't know
They're
why I'm
at
asking this right now.
Denver, at Philly, home to San Francisco, at Chicago.
Oh my gosh, week 14. They've got to win.
Yeah, wow,
They're the
okay.
last ones. Wow. Okay. Panthers, Patriots, Giants, 49ers, week 14. Well, never mind. Don't. But you get a little bit of rest here before your next one, so we'll see
They
what
get
they're
the
able to do with
Raiders
it.
in championship week. That's
Oh,
nice.
that's nice. Oh, championship. I got to get through this week, Adam. I can't.
Yeah, we all do.
I can't keep doing
we're
this.
we're like the players with
Jaylen
the
Hurts,
cliche.
it's like,
Yeah, it's week to week.
It
Week
is.
to week, day to day.
I had a great week of practice, Adam. I had a great week of getting all the stats down, and we'll see if it translates to a fantasy win. I gotta get through this. We're gonna continue on again. We're gonna open the phone lines here in a little bit, and then make sure you send any questions you have at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. Our phones will be open and ready to go. Biggest week 6 questions that we've gotten, compiled all the questions that we've had. Have to talk about what the Chargers backfield is going to look like if Darren Waller is going to continue what he's doing. Rico Dowdle and our expectations for him. We're going to go through that and much more here coming up next. We got our coffee this morning, Adam. We've got good vibes. No coffee?
No coffee yet.
What'd you do? Why? You're just riding the high of Phillies fans being sad? Is that what it is?
I guess you could say that. No, I'm just gonna. There's a couple days this week I didn't have coffee before the
Oh,
show, so once
wow.
the show's over, I'm gonna go eat and have my
Huh.
coffee. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Well,
got the energy right now.
I love it. It's he's feeding off the Yankees losing, the all Philadelphia sports losing. I'm sorry, folks. So that's just what it is. He's just naturally happy when those teams lose. So I
Yeah, it's
like
just the
it.
Giants one, but what are you gonna do,
That's I mean,
Giants?
you'll
I guess
take
it's
one.
Yankee lose.
yeah, love it, Vlad Guerrero. He is
That was
phenomenal.
so
Love
funny.
that guy.
I know. That was amazing. That's good. That's good. Adam's gonna
That
love
is one
that
of my favorite clips that I will be watching over and
for
over
the
and
rest of
over. I
time.
can't get enough of
I
that.
wish people could see how happy you were right now. Like Adam is just smiling ear to ear, listening to Guerrero say that he's talking about in the breaks. He doesn't need coffee when he's riding these highs. I love it. So, Kendall Valenzuela again, Adam Ronis with you. I see that your questions coming in over there on X. I know today is a big day for some of those start sit questions. Once we get into the water cooler, we'll open up those phone lines as well. But keep sending them in at K Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis. One, I didn't mention Chris Godwin. No, I didn't mention Chris Godwin at the top here. So just some injury news. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler did report that Chris Godwin is not expected to play in week 6 going up against the 49ers. Again, Chris Godwin not expected to play. So if you have him in your starting lineups, just, take today, make sure you do it tomorrow, whenever it is. It looks like it's a fibula injury though, Adam, because when you told me that, I said, oh no, did he re-aggravate anything with that ankle injury? So this is a new injury, which is not good. But Chris Godwin, again, not expected to play. So Mike Egbuka, does that Mike Evans? I've seen no updates yet, but we're not expecting him to play either, right? I haven't
No,
seen.
yeah, he did not practice
Okay.
yesterday. My guess is that you would hope for Evans that it's next week because I think this is the third game he missed, right? For Evans,
Yes,
is
this would
this
be
week?
this
Yeah,
this week would be the third.
and they
Yeah.
didn't put him on IR. He said it wasn't as bad as last year. He missed 3 games last year with his hamstring
Yeah,
issues.
they need him
So
back
you hope
week
that he's back
7.
next week. But yeah, I mean, this was the whole point when I was very aggressive on Igbuka drafting him
Mm-hmm.
because I felt that he was going to just smash early on, and he has. And I thought it didn't matter whether they get Evans and Godwin back. But again, with Godwin coming off the surgery, there was a risk. You could say this is a different injury. I don't know. Maybe the prior injury affected this. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to pretend to be
You
one.
sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. But there was risk with him coming back and how number one, how he would perform. He played a lot of snaps the first
Yeah.
2 weeks back, which I was surprised, but it did not translate into numbers because there's definitely a rust factor there. And then with Evans going into the year at 32 with a hamstring injury every year, there was definitely risk. So I think some people were like, well, yeah, I don't want to draft Ibuka that early because once Godwin and Evans are back and McMillan, who was they said middle of the year, like
Mhm.
I wasn't worried about all that. If as long as Egbuka went out there and did his thing, he was going to stick, and he has. So yeah, it's looking up for him. And I guess if you're desperate, like Sterling Shepard
I
could
was
be
just gonna
someone.
say,
Yeah,
yeah, I'll bump him up the ranks, but he could be desperate flex territory, which some people just might be in that spot this week with another couple teams on bye. So yeah, again, Chris Godwin not out there, and then they're just waiting on the return of Mike Evans and Mike Egbuka, though, just looking so good for you. You said it for anyone that was able to get him. I'm looking around and I've got a lot of Egbuka, but even then, Adam, it's like I don't have enough. I just if I need him on every single team that I have. But Sterling Shepard, you said it, fantasy stock should go up in those deeper formats. Is a really deep dart throw, and then obviously you're starting. If we're on this game, like we can just finish this out. But you're starting Rachaad White, with the absence of Bucky Irving over there. White had the 14 carries, 4 targets on 47 snaps. And Sean Tucker had a little bit. You hold on to Sean Tucker just in case. We never know. I mean, we never want injuries, but if White were to go down at the same time as Bucky Irving being down, then Sean Tucker would take on that workload. So we know the efficiency wasn't amazing. It never is with Rachaad White. But he did manage you fantasy points and he looked fine while doing it. So you're going to keep starting him as well.
yeah, he was the bell
Good.
cow back,
Yep.
80% snap rate, 18 touches. So especially in the passing game, that's really where he shines. And yeah, if you have him, you're playing him. When anytime Bucky Irving's out, Rachaad White's in there.
Yep, there you go. And they're playing the 49ers, right? Yeah.
49ers, yeah.
49ers. They're fine against the run. They allowed, but listen, I'm not saying that Rachaad White is Kyren Williams, but they did allow 31.1 fantasy points to Kyren Williams last week, and then 19.5 to Travis Etienne a couple weeks ago as well. So it's fine. We'll see what he's able to do, but you do like Rachaad White going into this matchup this weekend. The big question though, Adam, that I've seen at least 5 messages on this, so we can break this down now, is the Chargers backfield. And unfortunately, I want to say that our minds haven't changed at what this is going to look like. I'm very comfortable saying I want to believe that I leaned a little bit more towards Haskins, but truly we do not know what this could look like. This could be a true just 50-50 split. I know the one thing that we know is that Kamani Vidal is a better passing option. So he could get some of the passing work. You could see Hassan Haskins at the goal line. I give a slight lean because of the potential goal line work, because he's also, been with Jim Harbaugh before in Michigan. I take that into account a little bit, because that's how deep we have to go at him to try and figure out what this could look like. So if you spent money on either of them, go to our rankings at fantasylife.com. I'm telling you, you might have better options on your bench, but really we're all going to learn at the same time what they're going to do while Omarion Hampton is out for the next at least 4 games.
Yeah, no one knows what they're going to do. It's probably going to be a split. I think Vidal's a little better, but it doesn't matter. It's what the coaches decide to do. So it's a tough situation. I think there are a lot of people in desperate situations this week, and I saw them both go for anywhere 35 to 40% in the high stakes leagues, and I couldn't believe it.
They were going for 300 plus.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Look, there was probably teams in our league who didn't spend a lot of money. There were teams sitting in the 900 range, and they probably said either, again, our league is deep. It's 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 2 flex spots. And with all the injuries and bye weeks, you could understand the desperation. I was there last week with Michael Carter. Thank goodness it worked out, because if I would have had to wait to this week, I still couldn't get myself to spend 30, 35% on these 2 backs. I am starting Vidal in one league, but I have so many injuries. Like, my top 4 picks are all out, and I have Rashee Rice, who's suspended. So I have no choice.
One more week, then you get him back. Hopefully he solves all of our problems.
I will say this. The one good thing, if you are in a desperate spot to start either of these 2 guys, the Miami run defense is atrocious. So you might be able to get some points from these 2 running backs, but I do see them passing a lot. And let's not forget, too, the offensive line is in shambles right now.
Yeah,
this offense has really struggled the last 2 weeks. So that's the other factor. So they're desperation plays, the running backs. I think they're going to have to drop back and pass a lot and rely on the receivers.
I mean, and I got questions on Herbert yesterday after our conversation, because I said I technically downgraded him, but he's still my QB, I want to say 8 on the week, and some other rankers, have him closer to 13, but it's more the offensive line. I mean, you said it. They're in absolute shambles with what was it, Pipkins last week. You got Mekhi Becton, Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater. Like, it's just been bad. And because of that, I mean, Herbert has been impacted by this. The passing yards and yards per attempt have plummeted since week 1 to now. Week 5 last week, 166 yards, 5.7 yards per attempt. And that's from, week 1. We know that was the international game. It was a long time ago, but 318 yards, 9.4 yards per attempt. So he's going to get hit by that. I still have him again inside the top 10, because it's more matchup based. Like you just said, they're playing Miami. So I have to believe at some point, even with how bad this offensive line is, that they're going to be able to go out and at least move the ball. And that's the other thing with Haskins and Kamani Vidal and why you have them. The situation is better to be avoided until we figure out what's going on. But I almost equate it to last week, Adam, where you had Amari DiMercato, you had Michael Carter. We had a little bit better feeling about those 2 because we've seen them before in this situation when James Conner went out. Trey Benson being down obviously made it clear that those 2 were going to get work. But yeah, we'll just wait and see. If you have to start them, we understand. I'm going to have to start Haskins in 1. And I'm not loving it.
No, it does not feel good.
Feels gross
at all. But we get to scenarios where we don't have choices. But if you do have better options, then no need to go there. Because I think what happens is some people are like, oh, they're getting into a bigger role. They're going to get touches. I have to find a way to start them. No, you don't. It all depends on what you have. But they are not highly desirable this week because we just don't know how the distribution is going to go. And that offensive line, what look, you could see what they were doing with O'Mary and Hampton the last couple weeks. They were getting him more involved in the passing game because there was just no space, no holes the
Yeah.
offensive line was creating. So they said, all right, we're going to try and run. It's not working. We'll just get Hampton the ball in the passing game. And it was working for him.
Yeah, our rankings are updated fantasylife.com. That's where you can go and check them out. But Pacheco's ahead of him. RJ, like
Well, if
Harvey.
Pacheco's ahead of you, you are not good.
No, listen.
Well, then
Tyler-
again, I just don't understand why they don't
I don't know. It was
give
bad.
Pacheco a chance.
Pacheco going up against Detroit. That's where I end. So Hassan Haskins for me is RB 37, and then I just have Vidal at 38 because I do not know. That's how I'm going to lean towards it going into week 6. But again, fantasylife.com for those updated rankings. And yeah, good luck to everyone, including us, because we just have no clue. The other question I saw a lot here going into this week is just Rico Dowdle and the expectations. I saw so Chuba Hubbard was working off to the side, but I think they put him as a DNP, right?
Yes.
Because he wasn't participating in the actual practice. So if you're on the wrong side of those practice reports on a Thursday, the likelihood, I want to say, Adam, is that we might not see him again. But even if he is out there, if we do get Chuba Hubbard back, how much do you move Rico Dowdle in your rankings and just your expectations if they both are out there again at the same time?
Boy, that's a tough one.
I know. It's because he was a DMP, but he was working off to the side. We might today see him get a full practice or a limited in, but I really don't know where this one's going to go.
Well, I know everyone that has Rico Dowdle wants Hubbard to be out because of, number one, what he did last week in the revenge game narrative with Dowdle going against his former team. So my guess is we don't see Hubbard play. I mean, it's 5 straight practices that he's missed. Again, he was working on the side. Boy, I don't know. I mean, obviously Dowdle's a great play if Hubbard's out. If Hubbard plays, what would they do? I mean, because
how do
it's
you look
one
at what
game.
he did?
Yeah, it's one game, and you paid Hubbard. This team clearly likes him. Are you going to just say, all right, now you're in a 50-50 split because Dowdle had a massive game against a horrible run defense? But I do think with him coming off the injury, if he did play, you would probably see more Dowdle this week, especially in this scenario going up against the Cowboys.
I hope it just becomes easy and Chuba Hubbard is ruled out. Like not saying we want the injury, but that would make our lives a lot easier because then you just know that you're starting Rico Dowdle everywhere. Because it's just a no-brainer. Rico Dowdle right now without Chuba Hubbard coming back is my RB 16, and I think I'm gonna move him up probably. I'm just waiting
16
on
16 seems
I know I might get him to
low.
I might get him to 13. I don't. We'll see. I'm waiting on the Chuba Hubbard news. I want to see what's going on there, but. If Chuba Hubbard's out, you're starting him. I think people will be inclined, myself as well, to maybe start him if Chuba Hubbard's out there as well, because that was a late DNP. He might still be banged up. I know that we believe if coaches put him out there that he is ready to go. And we say that with a lot of other players, like, okay, if they believe and trust him, that his body's ready to go, then we should too. But I might put him back out there even if he is there. It's the same question that we're going to have with Jaylen Warren, no? And Gainwell. I mean, it's really different, obviously, with the circumstances. They went into a bye. You expect Jaylen Warren to be good. I think I saw that he was on the right side of healthy. But it's that same question. Kenneth Gainwell had a huge game in that international game when Warren was out. I still believe that they go back to Warren, but you never know.
Yeah, I would think Warren is still the lead back, but Gainwell gets more involved than he was. But either way, they have a really tough matchup this week against the Browns' run defense, which has just been taking everyone out. The only player to have a good game against them was Gibbs. Now, they have given up 3 rushing touchdowns. Chase Brown had 1, Gibbs had 1, and Mason had 1. And that's what we said when we were talking about Mason last week. We said, look, you got to play Mason if you have him, and you just hope that he falls into the end zone. And that's exactly what happened. And it's the same situation this week if you're starting these Pittsburgh running backs.
I will say the last thing on the Javonte Williams, on the Chuba Hubbard Rico Dowdle front is that they are playing Dallas. So, it's one of those things where the Dallas team, they've allowed the 6th most fantasy points to running back. So that's why I say also I'm comfortable enough if they do put Chuba out there, I'll still probably play Rico. Or put him in a spot in my rankings that
they both could go off.
that allow them, to be both startable. So that's what I'll say on that. We're going to continue on. We've got more questions that we're definitely going to go through. Week 6 rankings updates as well. Talk through maybe one Dak Prescott, a little Jaylen Waddle here. We're going to do all of that coming up next. Fantasy Life right here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this Friday morning. Mariners game tonight, Adam. I'm nervous. Don't worry.
Should be.
I am. Don't worry.
You should be. I mean, look, anytime you're in a playoff game, doesn't matter what the circumstances are, you're nervous. So this is game 5.
Everyone send me good vibes. Good vibes.
Seattle is an underdog.
Well, yeah, I would expect.
Scooble is on the mound, so
it's going to be fine.
I need Kirby to come through. Oh, Kirby's a New York guy.
Great.
Oh, what does that mean? You sounded like that's failure.
No.
He's from New York. Come on.
No, that's great. That's great. I need all the good vibes sent my way. Don't text, don't call at 5:08 Pacific time tonight. We'll see
when
how
the Tigers are up 2-0 in the first.
Would you stop? What is wrong with you? I don't do this for your crappy baseball team that didn't even
wow,
make the
look
playoffs.
at it. Damn, you see, this is how to get her triggered. You've never seen her say something like that on this show.
Is. Well, you're just on the Mets. What are we doing here? You hated them.
I'm rooting for the Mariners.
Are you?
I have a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey. You want me to wear it tonight?
Could you?
Yeah, I'll wear it.
All right. There we go. See, that's the good vibes. Okay. That's what we're doing. Come on, get out of here.
Wow, she said crappy. I can't believe that.
Crappy baseball team. You hated them.
I didn't hate them. That's my team. They disappointed me.
Okay.
But now, hopefully, the Mariners bring you happiness.
Happiness and joy. I don't know. We'll see. Who else could bring us happiness and joy? I did see. You see what I did there? Alvin Kamara. I've seen a ton of questions on him as well. I got this question I wanted to highlight though from Steve saying need an RB since Hampton is down between Kendre Miller or RJ Harvey full point PPR. The one thing I will say, because we've talked up Miller, because everything, I mean, his workload has increased every single week. Now, the one thing, though, when we say that is, unless you're in a tough spot like this, you're not necessarily going out of your way to start him. Alvin Kamara was at practice on Thursday yesterday. There was a little bit of a scare. I think it was Wednesday that we talked about that, where I think it was an ankle injury, and he went down as a limited participant. So he was out there though yesterday, so it looks like he's trending in the right direction. So this one's close though. I would say RJ Harvey ahead of Kendre Miller, full point PPR. But if we, for whatever reason, maybe today get a bad injury update on Kamara, then things would change.
I think it's very close. I lean Miller because we've seen him play a little bit more. The last 2 games, 11 touches, 57 total yards. He's actually looked better than Kamara. And Kamara last week had a season low, 53.2% of the snaps. So they're starting to use Kendre more. I think he looks like the better runner right now.
Yeah.
Harvey is just, we saw more Tyler Bidet last week. Again, it looked like we were done with him. 2 weeks ago, we didn't see much of him. And then we saw a lot of Bidet last week.
I know. No, I know. It's gross. When I tell you it's really close between the two, like
no, it is.
RJ Harvey is 37 for me, and Kendre Miller is 38. Like that's how close it is.
I agree. I think it's that close. I lean Miller. Plus, if Kamara is banged up, again, it looks like he's going to play. I mean, that could be a factor. I lean Miller, but it's close. Look, we want to see Harvey succeed, right? We all see the explosiveness. Sure. It's just, that one game that he had was the Monday night game against the Bengals. And to me, that felt like a situation where they said, okay, number one, they wanted to get Bo Nix right. And they said, okay, this is a game that we could use him. Because every other game, he's not even come close to that workload.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's really close. Steve, appreciate you checking in. You can go check out our rankings at fantasylife.com and we'll see what the injury update is for Kamara. You're right though. It does look like he's going to play. So it's just one of those things though, where if you have Kendre Miller and you're looking at people to cut, he should not be the guy that you look to. I know that you might look and just say, okay, how much longer do we have to wait? But the takeaway is that the backfield has been evolving. That's what we talked with Dwayne McFarland about earlier this week. And even the return of Taysom Hill kind of really eats into the role as well. I mean, it's just he had 21% Taysom Hill of the designed rushing attempts. I don't know.
Yeah, and you'll probably see him in there at quarterback here and there too.
That eats into it too. So
It does.
yeah.
It's not great. Look, the appeal of Kamara was massive volume and catching a lot of passes.
Yes.
Neither are happening right now. So if you drafted him, you cannot feel good right now with what you're seeing.
You think they're getting ready to trade him, or is
I
it
don't
just one
know.
of
You
those things where
so
they're just doing this
you keep
because
hearing that he's not going to get traded, and I saw something too that he wants to finish his career there.
oh, okay.
So, but you
Well,
got, I mean, come on, man. If they come to you and say, "Hey, we can trade you to Kansas City," you wouldn't want to go.
he'd probably say, "Okay, yeah, I'll pack up and go." I don't know.
Or I don't know. You never know. Sometimes
November
people
4th.
just like being on a team. You know, he's been there his whole career, and he might be like, I just want to stay here. I don't know.
We'll
But
see. I mean, if he ever did move though, or even if they started shutting him down, there's another option
he
here
did
where
that
he
last
doesn't
year.
exactly where he doesn't get moved and people are then disappointed. They're like, Kendre Miller, why did I hang on? But there is another option here besides him getting hurt or getting moved, and that is them just absolutely shutting him down towards the end of the season if they keep losing. So again, that wouldn't be a shutdown in November necessarily, but it would be something where they slowly start to scale him back because they don't want to risk injury because they are losing these games and they want to see. You said, I think you said this a couple days ago, you want to see what you have in your young guys. And so you just say, hey, we know what we get with Kamara, but with Kendre Miller, let's just give him more of a workload and see what he could look like for the future. So that's another option that they have, Adam.
Yeah, and he has 1 year left on his deal.
Mhm.
So, will a team want to pick up that money? So yeah, because I think everyone immediately when you start talking players to be traded, he always comes up in the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to keep going. I see more questions that we are going to answer and our week 6 survivor picks. The teams that we're going with this weekend, we're going to break it down here coming up next. Yeah, got the Folgers ready to go. A Friday morning here, Adam, getting ready for all things week 6 in the NFL. I see all your questions coming in. We've answered a few of them, but keep sending them in and we'll try and get to as many as we can at Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. And then the phone lines too. I'll throw that out because we're about to go into the water cooler, but 888-963-2682, or you can press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app. Survivor. Hopefully people didn't. I mean, I'm sure some did. I had already used the Eagles, Adam, so I was not in the predicament last night of picking the Eagles over the Giants. But Survivor this week actually should be pretty good. You've got some good options here.
You
Green
do.
Bay, Green
I'm
Bay
trying
being
to.
one of them.
I don't think I've used Philly yet, but I didn't even consider them for last night.
I have used Philly.
I thought they would win, but a short week, division rival on the road, no. I was not going there. So thank goodness I didn't because that would have been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this week probably the popular play is going to be Green Bay at home if you haven't used them against the Bengals.
What's the spread? Are they like 14 point
14 and a half.
Oh, wow. I was kind of kidding. Nice.
You have a home team against an inferior opponent coming off a bye, also coming off 2 disappointing performances, the tie against Dallas and then the loss against the Cleveland Browns, which actually some people might have used them that week, right?
Oh, I got knocked out in a couple others from using them back-to-back weeks,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah,
Yes.
I did not use them yet. So that's
This is probably the week to do it.
yeah, that's where I kind of lean right now. The other one that I think is going to be popular is the Rams, especially if Lamar Jackson's out.
Yeah.
I know it's on the road, but we've just seen the Ravens be non-competitive without Lamar Jackson. So that will be one. I think the Colts people will look at.
I was just going to say the Colts, yeah.
I don't
Because
know. That one
Cardinals
scares
team
me a little bit.
That one freaks me out a little bit.
Right? Because
Cardinals-
everyone's burying the Cardinals. They look
I don't
terrible.
know.
Kyler Murray's on the injury report. I don't know if they win, but maybe they keep it close. Denver
Colts-
will be another one.
Denver will be one. I just stay away. Those international games freak me out as well. I know it's Denver. I know it's the Jets. I know the Jets are winless, but I've already used them, so I'm not in that spot. But that one also freaks me out. You know which one I like, but I'm scared about? Like my gut is telling me to just go with the Patriots in this one and just take the Patriots over the Saints, but
Saints have been
more
competitive.
Of a risk. I know it's more of a risky pick. I mean, the Patriots are 3-2.
It's also a team coming off a real high, right?
I know.
National TV game where they look great. And I do think the Patriots are good, but I don't know. There were even comments from, was it May or Diggs that said, yeah, well, now we have to follow it up and, perform well on the road. So because everyone was praising the Patriots this week, and Drake May's the next best
I
quarterback. And
know.
so how do they
It's
handle that?
I just don't like unless you wait for them to play the Titans, which is October
And
19th,
that's on the
so week
road
7.
too.
That's on the road.
Yeah.
I
Well, they
just
do
in
have
the
a home game
spots
against the Jets in November,
I know,
but
but
it's
that's
also
so
division.
far. I mean, it's so far away, I should say. Like, I just,
You don't look.
I'm
You don't.
trying to save some of these bigger. Well, so for me, I've used, some of the bigger ones, right? The Eagles, and you're trying to save some of those other big teams. I haven't used the Bills yet. And so I don't know. I'm just looking at that one, and it's calling to me, Adam. It could be good, it could be bad. It's
Okay.
probably going to be bad, but that's fine. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm leaning Green Bay right now.
Green Bay is a good one. I think.
I have two entries still alive.
Oh, nice. I've got one in the one that we did.
Yeah, I have
Two in the
two
one
in
that we
that one.
did.
We
Yeah.
were given
And then
three.
yeah, I think that's about as far as I'm gonna go too. I think it's gonna be Green Bay going up against the Bengals. Gosh, could you imagine if they
I
did this
I
again?
can't see them losing this game. I
I
just can't.
can't either,
First game for Flacco on the road in Green Bay.
but could you imagine the conversations we're gonna be having if we come in on Monday? I mean, Flacco for what it's worth, because I have seen some questions on him as well. Again,
But it's not
we've
even
talked
that. How do
about
they how are
this.
they stopping Green Bay's offense?
No, exactly. It's not going to be a Flacco thing, but
Yeah.
for fantasy purposes, I mean, you are. I said, what did I say earlier in the week? Much more excited. You brought it down to a little bit more excited about at least starting T Higgins. You knew that you were going to be starting Jamar Chase no matter what, because you were kind of just locked into it. But now you get Joe Flacco, who hopefully just gives you will take solid fantasy production. More looking at T Higgins than anything else. Good enough.
Yeah. It's just a glimmer of hope.
It is that time of the day, time for that Fantasy Life water cooler, where we go through all the news and notes that you need to know heading into week 6, because you are always going to get updated information here on this show. We are looking at every injury report, everything throughout the week, so you can make the best decisions for your lineups. Again, week 6 here. It should be a good one, Adam. Are you putting out gross lineups this week as bad as last week, or are you a little bit better? What are we looking at? Mine are a little
Probably
bit better.
a little bit better,
Not
but
great,
yeah,
though.
I do have a few. Like my home league, I have, I lost Neighbors, I have Kittle out, I have Hampton out, Pearsall likely out.
Yep.
But so that one is looking kind of bad. And even the my GST lineup again, because I have 3 players on bye. I have CD Lamb still out. So that one is looking pretty bad too. But somehow the team is 4-1, but I guess I can thank Puka Nacua for that, probably.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so right now in that league, I am starting Michael Carter, Pacheco, Isaiah Bond, and Flournoy.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. And somehow you're still going to eke out a win or something crazy.
I mean, well, Goddard
That
got
would
me
be
off to a
nuts.
nice start, giving me 26.
Oh my gosh, that is just insane. I am very jealous. Yeah, I didn't get Flournoy in any, but when we're looking at, I haven't seen anything on Jauan Jennings yet, by the way.
He was a limited
He was
participant in
limited,
practice
but I haven't
yesterday.
seen anything of them saying that he's going to be good to go yet. But you mentioned the Ricky Pearsall, so I mean, we've had the Kendrick Bourne conversation too. If he's out, we talked about this after that game that they had last week, and it was one of those things where we said, hey, because of the injuries, right? We don't want to just necessarily say that he's going to continue getting all this work, but if one Jauan Jennings, one Ricky Pearsall is out, then he can still be involved, and I think we're still holding true to that, because Ricky Pearsall, you're right, is on the wrong side of the injury report, so we might not have him this week. I think that makes Bourne someone that could be flex worthy.
Yeah, and he was actually still available in a couple leagues this week, because remember going into that, or when the waivers ran last week on Wednesday, we didn't really know exactly what was going to go on, and then everyone was out and Bourne went off. So yeah, if Pearsall definitely looks like he's out.
Mm-hmm.
If Jennings is out, then Bourne definitely for sure. If Jennings is back, it will hurt Bourne a little bit, because you got to think Jennings is gonna get more targets and Tonjes is there. He'd still become a solid play though. But if Jennings is out, then yeah, Bourne would move up significantly.
There you go. And looking more and more like Mac Jones this week as well. So
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
The 49ers backup quarterback.
Oh, what's his name?
I don't know. It's
Okay.
all of a sudden I can't remember. You're not gonna
Oh,
get me on it. This is just so fun. But Brock Purdy, I mean, again, if you had Brock Purdy, then you more than likely just had a backup already on your roster. But yeah, Mac Jones going into this week, and then Ricky Pearsall again. If he's not good to go, that does make it a lot better to go ahead and play Kendrick Bourne this week as well. The other update that we got earlier after we talked about that Giants win over the Philadelphia Eagles was that Chris Godwin is not expected to play in week 6 going up against the 49ers. Other side of this game here. So it is a fibula for him, not the same ankle injury that he was, taken out with last season. So he was a DNP all week with this injury. And so Jeremy Fowler reported that they are more than likely not going to have him. He said that he will officially be ruled out before the weekend as well. So that's nice for you to go ahead and put him, if you got those IR spots or anything like that, put him over there. But yeah, Emeka Egbuka. That's really what you're looking at. Maybe Sterling Shepard, right? If you're in a desperate situation. I know someone mentioned Cade Otton. Cade Otton's had this opportunity before, and we haven't really seen him step into it. So I'm not going to move Cade Otton much up my rankings because of this either.
yeah. It feels like there are better tight ends this week,
Yeah.
right? That you can go to. And I don't know, San Francisco against the tight end.
Yeah, I'm looking. He's way down there, though. I just don't think I can move him enough to make it worth it. He's my tight end 22 right now.
Yeah, it was only last year he had that like 3-game stretch when all the receivers were out, and that's when it happened. I mean, I know he's on the field a lot, but it's great to be on the field, but if you're not getting targets, it doesn't really help us. I mean, the Niners have allowed 3 touchdowns to the tight end position, I guess, but they haven't really faced many good ones. But still, yeah, I don't think I could go there either.
Yeah. So again, the update on Godwin is that he will more than likely be out for this week. So make sure that you make those moves accordingly here. And we'll keep looking at all the injury reports today and see what's going on. Again, fantasylife.com. That's where you can go check out our newsletter in your inbox 7 days a week, 100% free. And then also Comet, Adam. We've been talking about this. I want to let the people know and make sure that they are downloading Comet because you get Fantasy Life Plus for free when you do that. So Comet is an AI-powered browser, acts as a personal assistant and thinking partner. You can get Fantasy Life Plus for free when you download Comet at fantasylife.com/Comet, COMET. More news before we get to the phone lines. Again, that phone number here, I'll put it back out there, 888-963-2682, or press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app. Just some other more rapid fires here. So Terry McLaurin did not practice yesterday. We're probably going to expect that he's not going to play this week, right? That's just where we're at.
They do play Monday. So yesterday was like the first practice of the week. So I'm interested to see what is done today and tomorrow. But the indication is that he'll probably be out.
That's been a disappointing draft pick.
It is.
I mean,
the risk is, though, we've seen with these players that hold out that they tend to get injured.
Yep.
So I don't know if we can definitely attribute it to that, but we've seen it in the past. He was out a while and now is dealing with this quad injury.
Yep. So that means Deebo Samuel would get more of a bump as well. I think we've talked about him going into this week, but obviously, he improved. The utilization score went from a 68 to a 67, 48% target share in week 5, 23.6 fantasy points, and his average actually is sitting. I didn't think it was this good, but it's sitting at 17.7 for the season. So again, Terry McLaurin, when he does come back, the targets are going to be, they're going to challenge each other for targets. But if he is out this week, you have to keep Deebo Samuel as a mid-range. I have a mid-range wide receiver too going into this week.
Yeah, if you have him, you want to get him in. He did not practice yesterday either with a heel injury, but this happened last week where he didn't practice and he still played. So I'd expect him to go.
Please, I need that or else I might have to go get a Flournoy off the waiver wire. Someone that you say that's not a real person, and you say, "Yo, yes, it is." Don't worry about that. Xavier Worthy did not practice Thursday with this one is a little concerned with a shoulder and an ankle injury. So I think this one is a little bit more concerning because we saw him kind of get banged up in that game previously, and so he is listed with ankle injury and shoulder injury. So He's the only player really for them that we concern ourselves with that was not a full participant in practice on Thursday. So today's is really going to tell us what that's going to look like for week 6.
Yeah, they really need him in the lineup as well. We've seen the offense has been a lot better with him. Detroit has allowed some deep passes. They're also banked up in the secondary as well. So this would be a good spot for Worthy. Yeah, he did leave that game. Like he was like limping off. I was like, oh no, but he came back in on the next play. But he's also been dealing with these issues, basically all season. Well, the shoulder, obviously, since Kelsey tried to take him out. Mm-hmm. And then the ankle was last week. So it's true. Kelsey took him out.
I didn't try.
I mean, that's probably the biggest production Kelsey's had this year.
Stop. He had a touchdown on his birthday.
I know, but
remember? How many fantasy points did he get there?
He didn't have a lot last week. What do you have? Like 50? Did he have 50? He had 540 in a touchdown, something like that.
Okay, that's not bad. For a guy
oh
that
no, he actually
761
at a touchdown. Yeah, he had a big day, 19 points.
There we go.
That's going to be the season high for him.
You're just hating really hard today on Travis Kelce, but you're right though. Xavier Worthy, this one we'll watch for the reports today, see if he is back out there. But again, did not practice on Thursday with that shoulder ankle injury, and hopefully he's going to be on the right side of the injury report today. Couple quarterbacks that did not practice. Lamar Jackson, I think our expectations are that he is not going to go this week. That has not been confirmed, but if you have him, just make sure you have a backup option. Kyler Murray was also out of practice on Thursday. This one might hurt some people because you haven't had to worry about a Kyler Murray injury so far this season. So our best advice, Adam, always is to just go pick someone up just in case. The backup would be Jacoby Brissett. Jonathan Gannon said earlier in the week that Murray was day to day. That was on Tuesday, and he said that on Wednesday. So I think today's final practice of the week is going to be significant. If he's not out there, obviously it looks like they're going to go a different direction. And Jacoby Brissett would get his first start of the season. We've seen him. He's played 46 games, 30 starts. When we're looking at the Colts, it's not a great option. Could you imagine though if Jacoby Brissett goes out there and Marvin Harrison Jr. just lights it up? I mean,
that's
that would
what
be
I was
fun.
Thinking. That he goes off.
What a conversation we'd have to have on Overreaction Monday.
Marvin Harrison, 160 receiving yards.
This one is gross. Yeah, this one stinks for anyone that did take Kyler because he was in that range, right? So you just have to go to the waiver wire. We talked about a couple guys that you could potentially stream if you absolutely had to. I don't like Bryce Young or saying Bryce Young's name, but I do think Bryce Young is one of them. For whatever reason, if Matthew Stafford was out there and maybe your league mates were asleep at the wheel, I mean, he's playing the Baltimore Ravens. So that's probably the best one that you could go out and get. But I don't mind Bryce Young going into it, Sam Darnold as well. And I would throw Mac Jones out there, right? If he's going. Get out of here. You're not going to get me. You're just not. It's not going to happen.
Do you have Kyler Murray this year?
I have him in one place.
Yeah, I stayed away. I can't deal with this anymore.
Well, it was one of those things where, we always do this. I overthink it and I go, okay, well, hang on. I have no shares of Kyler Murray. What if he does have a good season? Let me just get him in one place. And we really just need to go with our guts on that and just say, no, actually, I don't want him. So I have him in one spot. Thankfully, it's not, he actually, the team's been serviceable actually. So I'm sitting all right there.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's the same story where he's been okay, but he's running a little bit more. That's nice. He has 25 rushing yards or more in every game. He has only 1 rushing touchdown and 6 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You're just not going to get a lot of passing touchdowns from him. No. Wow, he's been he hasn't topped 220 passing yards this year.
Adam.
He's been 200 or fewer in 3 of 5. Yeah.
It's horrible.
I said I couldn't deal with it anymore. After going through last year, I don't care if we come back next year. Well, he was 11th in points per game. No, I don't want to hear it.
Because that's what it was last season. He was 12th, and you drafted him QB 12. But if you weren't a Kyler Murray manager last season, you did not feel the highs and the lows of.
Do you know where he is now?
Points per game.
Yeah, this is with 6 points per passing touchdown. Though is what I'm looking
at. 22.
25.
Dang. Oh my gosh. And I thought 22 was bad.
Yeah.
Wow. That's horrible. It's just so Sam Darnold. I don't think you would go to Jacoby unless, again, you're desperate, but Sam Darnold, Bryce Young, maybe Mac Jones in there as well. Jaxson Dart just had a game last night.
I know.
He was outside all of I had him at 18 because it just didn't feel right
Well,
There you
so
are.
going forward, though, you're going to put him more, depending on matchup, in the 12 to 15
12 to
range because of the
15.
rushing upside, right?
Yeah, yeah. Which probably should have done that for yesterday, but I just expected, the Eagles to look better, and they just didn't.
Right. And
So,
look, no Slayton. Imagine if Malik Neighbors was here.
oh, couldn't
That's
imagine
what we
actually.
needed.
That's the thing that's even more frustrating though, is
Yeah.
that it's just what you've got the Eagles. I mean, again, not to pile on, but you've got AJ Brown, you've got Saquon Barkley, you've got Devontae Smith, and you see the Giants going out there doing things like this. You see the 49ers going out there with basically nobody and winning games. That's just the crazier part.
Look, it's anyone watching knows there's clearly something wrong with this team,
Yeah,
and we got to see if they can fix it because there still is talent there, even with all the
sure.
injuries. But yeah, it's pretty bad right now. And you wonder if they shake it up? Do they make a major move?
What would the major move be?
Trade
Like
AJ
fire?
Brown,
What's his contract though? Do you think anyone's going to take that on?
New England. Don't they have a lot of money?
I mean, they do. 3-year, $96 million
Signed in
extension,
2024.
2024. What's his cap? How about this? This is what I'll tell you. What's his cap hit? Gosh,
Oh, he was guaranteed
17 million.
84.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's trading for that contract. So he's got the $17 million cap hit. I don't know. He hasn't asked for one, but I
That we
don't. The
know
body
of.
the
That
body
meeting
language
could
just
have been
isn't
like,
good.
yeah, I got to
Get
get
me
out,
out of
guys.
here. I mean, it has to be so frustrating for anyone on that team right now, though, to be totally honest.
Yeah, look, and it's frustrating if you have AJ Brown too,
Yeah,
right?
tell me about it.
Because you took him pretty. I didn't see him go past the second round of any draft. Now maybe he went in the
No.
third of a few, but we didn't think it would be as bad as last year, and it's actually worse.
Oh, he's not kidding. He comes with a dead cap hit of nearly
Nine,
$90 million.
yeah.
dollars. There's no way. That's tough to trade. Even if you're as aggressive as Philadelphia has been with their front office, it's almost impossible to be able to do that. That's insane. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it just gets better. We'll just manifest that for AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and just the Eagles as a whole. Let's go over to the phone lines now, though. Let's answer some calls here. Let's go out to Scott in Texas. Scott, what do you got for us? Potentially. Scott,
Scott's
do we have
shy.
him? Well, Scott, we want to answer your question. But if not, I know Adam scared you off. It's totally
What did
understandable.
I do?
Scott, you got us? No, this is definitely you, Adam. He's just all right.
Fell
Scott, call us
asleep.
back. There you go. Hey, gosh, doesn't a nap sound nice? It's
Yeah,
8
I
in the
could use
morning.
a
It's
nap
8 in the
today, I
morning,
think.
by the way.
Friday's a good day for a nap
It's a
after
good nap.
the
It's a good
entire
nap
week
day.
catching up to you.
My goodness. All right, Scott, if you're still listening, make sure to call us back. I'll go over to some questions over here on X. This one's from Joe. Drop Pacheco for Kendre Miller rest of season, or will Pacheco start to heat up? Pacheco's been probably one of the more frustrating guys that I have on my
Oh,
lineups.
yeah.
I want to believe that he's going to start to heat up, but rest of season, do you have Kendre Miller ahead of him? I know you do your rest of season rankings.
I probably would
Might be
take Miller at
close.
this point.
Yeah. Well, he
I
has more upside, that's for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, if you're talking about just strict upside based on what we've talked about with Alvin Kamara and the either potential trade or them maybe shutting him down, you have to look over there. So I don't know. I would say Kendre Miller. Let's do another one here from Felix Monk. Wow, I wish I had this problem. Montgomery, McConkey, or Waddle in the flex.
Waddle.
Jealousy. That's what's in the flex. I'll tell you that. But it is Waddle. Waddle should have another, right? Waddle should have another good weekend. Or
He's going
you
to be
at
the
least
top
hope.
guy in this offense. We've seen it. Whenever Tyreek Hill is out, Waddle goes off. So, like that, I don't even know if people talk about it enough. Like
What?
Waddle's like huge boost if you had him.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's just the guy that you got to get in your lineup now.
He had 9 targets, which was a 26% target share, 23 fantasy points in the first one without Tyreek Hill. So it's you just said it. But I mean, we don't like injuries, but if you do have Jaylen Waddle, yeah, you're really happy with how everything might turn out because it looked not good to start the season. I will say the Chargers have been the 6th hardest matchup for wide receiver rooms when we're looking at the DVP boost, but you're still liking it. I think their team total is sitting at 20, right? In this game as well.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. You just I like Waddle, you like Waddle. We all like Waddle. So let's get into it. We've got Scott back. You ready to go back to Scott?
Yes.
Scott, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'm in a 14-team Superflex. I got a running back question, half-point PPR. I need to sit one of these four: Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, or Rachaad White.
Are you just calling a show off or brag?
Wow, I'm so jealous of you, Scott.
Teams? There's no way.
What?
Sit Jonathan
Jacobs?
Taylor.
No, don't.
Just kidding.
Get
just kidding.
Out of here. Don't.
You still win. It doesn't matter.
What are you talking about?
I think it's probably Rachaad White.
It's probably
right?
Rachaad White, which is so gross.
Which is insane. How in a 14-team
I'm so
league?
jealous. 14-team. He crushed it.
You think he's
though.
trolling us?
No. Why would he do that? No,
I feel like
Scott's
some
cool.
people just want to do that.
Are you kidding? No, they know how to make us jealous, and Scott has this team. It is Rachaad White though. I don't think it's Javonte.
Yeah, you cannot.
That would be the
sit
next one. You
Williams
can't sit Javonte with what he's
no
doing.
No way.
That's
makes us feel like crap.
I still feel great. I'm
don't.
Jealous.
I mean, I see that, and I'm like, I'm in a 12-team league starting Isaiah Bond.
Flournoy.
But yeah, jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Can you trade Rachaad White to me? You think that'll ever happen in the future? Trades with other leagues? That would be crazy,
wouldn't that
right?
be fun? That'd be kind of fun.
I'm sure there's some technology that can handle that.
Yeah, we can make that. Maybe we should write that down.
Maybe like in 2080.
That's like $100 idea or something like that.
Yeah.
We should write that down. Write that down. Okay. Rachaad White. That's insane, Scott. Also very jealous of you. We're going to appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Going to keep going here. That was the Fantasy Life water cooler. FantasyLife.com is where you can go to subscribe to our newsletter. Check out all of our articles 100% free. Go hard or go home. Presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Who's going to go hard for us this week? Who's going to go home? We're going to break down those names coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta have Xfinity. All the games, all in one place. Here's what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. You get Sports Zone, every pro football game and over 1,000 college games, highlights and alerts all in one place. You get multi-view. You can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. You get the Xfinity fan cam as well, live scores, odds, and stats all in one place, personalized to you. And you get enhanced 4K and that voice remote where you can just say football. Imagine all your football all in one place. Easy. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. As always, appreciate everyone hanging out with us on this Friday morning, mid-afternoon. I'm hungry though, Adam. It's almost lunchtime. That's crazy.
Breakfast for me, but
breakfast, lunch, whatever you want.
But yeah, definitely gonna eat something following the show for sure.
There we go. Go hard or go home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade, the official drink of those who go hard for their league. And we're breaking down some of the guys that we hope, Adam, will go hard this week, or some of the guys that might not go hard for our fantasy teams, might go home, might be on the losers list going into week 7. So I want to start off with one Breece Hall and your expectations for him this week. I saw a report just a few, 20 minutes ago from Zach Rosenblatt saying that Breece Hall said, quote, "I want to be here. I want to be a New York Jet," because he's been asked about any trade rumors that have been surrounding him. I know this team is not looking good. The Jets have not won a game so far this season. They take on the Denver Broncos. I think that's a tall task to go up against this weekend, being the international game as well. So 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Again, 0-5. Trade deadline's November 4th. But with all of that to the side, do you think Breece Hall goes hard in this game, or do you think he goes home?
Probably goes hard just because the volume's going to be there. It's definitely a matchup where, can the Jets move the football well? Tough matchup here. The Broncos have been up and down against running backs. We saw Jonathan Taylor go off against them. Hampton had a solid game. I don't know if we could say shut down Saquon Barkley, because I felt like they shut him down, the team, because Barkley only had 6 carries for 30 yards last week. Barkley did have 3 receptions for 58 yards. The running backs in the passing game have had success against Denver, and we know Breece Hall can excel in that area. So look, he's someone, if you have him, you're getting him in your lineup.
Yeah, and this is one also where we've mentioned Isaiah Davis, but he is a really good handcuff to have just because of the Braylon Allen injury. They said that they're more considering him coming back December. There might be, just a time where they just say, hey, we're just going to shut it down. But because of that, I mean, and Hall last week had the season high 78% rush attempts share in week 5 with Braylon Allen out of the lineup. So now you're looking at just this kind of two-person backfield over there instead of 3, which obviously makes Hall an upgrade going into week 6. And so he's an RB1 for me. And you just hope that, like you said, just get some fantasy points. He's averaging 16.8 though. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, no,
For
we
Hall.
know he's gonna be good now, especially
Yeah.
one less running back out of the picture. It certainly helps all.
I like it. All right, go hard or go home. Ooh, let me go over to Josh Downs. Josh Downs had a season high in routes, targets, and fantasy points in week 5. I didn't equate to amazing. That wasn't great. 11.4 fantasy points is what we were talking about, but 72% season high in the routes was at 72%. The targets were at 25%, and he actually ranks 13th in targets per route run for the season at 25%. So we've talked about this game, how it might be a little bit of a trap for anyone looking at maybe the Colts and Survivor. But what do you think? Go hard or go home for Josh Downs here in the Colts?
It's always tough with
I
him.
know. He's borderline.
Yeah,
Kind of
you
fun,
got
though.
Warren, you got Pittman, Pierce could be back, but you mentioned, the production last week, and the Cardinals have struggled against slot receivers.
Yeah.
So I'll lean go hard here.
Ooh, look at that. It's just he's an interesting one because we don't necessarily talk him up every single week, but when we're talking flex plays, Adam, that's the one part where you look at Josh Downs, you say, okay, you like the utilization. I mean, ideally, like you could see some boom games from Downs, but you just need a little bit more playing time. That's really the one thing that you look at. You want to see that route participation at 85% usually when we're looking at guys that we just say, yeah, you put him in your lineup every single week. But the Colts haven't really done that. AD Mitchell, you think he's still in the doghouse this week, or you think he's good to going back?
Probably.
He's
He's
probably good to
probably in the
going back.
doghouse.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
That's going to be my question for him. You think Amari DiMercado's in the doghouse, or because Jonathan Gannon got fined for just like
Oh
not
no! If
being
that was
nice, you
me and
think
I
he's in the
got fined, he's in
doghouse?
the doghouse. I'm like, really? I'm taking the fall for this when you
You think
made a
he's
mistake
sending him
that
the
cost the
check?
game?
He's
Like,
like,
no.
here, you pay this $100,000.
I would. I would make him pay it.
Oh my God. I don't even think, how much is this contract? You
It
wouldn't do
doesn't
that.
matter.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, I still think he's a high-end wide receiver 5 for me. Again, not necessarily amazing, but because of the bye weeks, because of the injuries, might be someone that you look to start. So I'll be there with you. I like go hard. I just wanted to do an update on Malik Washington because I think he's a go home candidate. But some people asked if they can drop Malik Washington because there was a couple weeks ago we said, hey, if ever there was an injury or someone could step up, maybe Malik Washington would get more work. But in the first game without Tyreek Hill, his route participation didn't improve. It was still at 63%. Or is he someone that you hang on to just in case they do turn to him? I mean, and it wasn't even good. His average depth to target was 4.5. So when we see that, it's hard to get fantasy points with both of those combined.
4 receptions for 0 yards.
I know.
Malik Washington last
I
week.
didn't
Now,
want to say that.
I have him in like deeper leagues, 20 roster spots. I am holding him there for now. We know Nick Westbrook and Keeney is going to run more routes than him in the 2 wide sets. But yes, for this week, Malik Washington, go home. But in deeper formats, I'm going to hold another week or 2 to see
Just
if
in
it
case.
changes.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver 6, which means just nowhere near your lineups. I'm holding on to him in one. I dropped him in a more shallow league where it wasn't, 20 round draft kind of situation, but yeah, it wasn't great. I expected a little bit more, but we'll see. It's Darren Waller's show that he's going to run. Darren
Yeah,
Waller
and they
Jaylen
said
Waddle.
that he said that his snaps are going to increase, and it was going to be interesting because this was the first home game for him, and the humidity and everything in Miami. So, yeah, you're feeling good
Feeling
if you
good
had
about
Waller.
Yeah, I don't even need to ask you if you Waller go hard or go home. We know it. He's just going to. It's just yeah. I had to adjust the ranks, Adam. I didn't think that he was going to be able to do anything like that. But he's my tight end. He's my tight end 8, and I feel like I could push him a little bit higher even going into this week. But he's gonna go hard.
8 sounds about right. I mean, it's all about him staying healthy. We know that these touchdowns can't continue, but they do look for him a lot in the red zone. He's that red zone threat because they don't have those big bodies there. So Yeah, it's been a great start to Waddle returning, and he's going to see his route percentage and snaps increase. And when he's been on the field, they're looking for him. Colts have been, I mean, the Chargers have been really good against tight ends, but
Yeah.
I still think that if I have Waller, I'm probably going to play him, and he'll likely need a touchdown to come through, but we've been seeing it, and they look for him in the red zone. So,
You know what would be nice this week? A big Tucker Craft game. How about that?
yeah,
That would be lovely because it's kind of fizzled out a little bit with Tucker Craft.
yeah, it's only been
Just a
4
little.
games, but
I know.
yes, I think we were hoping for more from Tucker Craft because he had the huge game in the second game of the year, and since then, it's been
Nothing.
a little
Yeah.
disappointing.
Nothing. It's fine.
Yeah, he
Everything's
had 2
fine.
touchdowns to open the year, and then 3 for 29 and 5 for 56. And the 5 for 56 in a game where your team puts up 40 and goes to overtime too against the Cowboys. You know, you wanted more.
Disappointing. Yeah, you wanted just a little bit more. So we're gonna hope that happens. Let me do one more here. Go hard or go home. DK Metcalf. What are we looking at this right now with DK Metcalf? Because someone else that's been, I mean, so it was the international game where they just really he had a solid showing. You were happy with the production that he got, and then of course it's been, they went on their bye, so it's a whole other conversation. But it's the same with when we were talking about Gainwell, where they just had a solid game over there. So DK Metcalf is coming off the 23.6 fantasy point day. He had 126 yards off his 5 receptions, 1 touchdown. Go hard or go home coming off their bye. What do you think?
I'll say go hard in this matchup here.
Yes, love it.
Cleveland struggles a little bit against some receivers. We know they're really good against the run, right? So you've got to
Yep.
pass on them. So that should give Metcalf plenty of opportunities. And yeah, the only thing is that they haven't really thrown a lot of deep passes to him, but they have been looking for him in the red zone. So I'll say go hard this week against the Browns, where they'll
I
need
like
to
it.
pass.
Please, we just need fantasy goodness all around. That's just what we want to walk away with. We're going to continue going through some of these questions here, Adam, on X at Valenzuela17 at Adam Ronis over there. If you have questions, send them in. I saw this one from Chris. So Chris asked, "Would you start Kamara or Michael Carter full point PPR?" I'm gonna go with Michael Carter.
I am too, and I
Yeah,
can't believe we're saying it.
I can't.
But
I was just gonna say I'm gonna go with Michael Carter, and
we
it's
we just haven't
close.
seen anything from Kamara,
Well, full
and I
point
just
PPR,
mentioned that the snaps have been going down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the whole backfield role has been changing with Kamara. If you would have told me though to start the season, if we were talking week 5, saying Michael Carter for the Arizona Cardinals, the backup running back, or Alvin Kamara, where would you go? That's crazy to me. But yeah, I would go with Michael Carter in that one. So appreciate you reaching out there. I saw one from Steve too after we talked about Jauan Jennings. Said, "Hello, I have Jauan Jennings on a few of my teams. Is it time to try to trade him or let him go outright? Thanks." I would
Jauan,
wait.
yeah, I
Jauan
mean, well,
Jauan
first of
Jennings.
all, you're not letting him go,
Yeah, don't drop him.
and you can't trade him right now.
No, he was out last week.
Like he's been
So you
banged
want to at
up.
least wait.
Like so, you would need him to come back and put up a big performance, and then move him.
Yeah. You're just gonna wait it out.
But
Don't
Jennings should
drop
be
him.
good when he's healthy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when you
I
look,
have him. I have a good amount of him.
I
Not
don't
a
have
ton,
enough.
but-
I liked him,
Well, you
but
liked Ricky Pearsall a little bit more.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, which
When
made sense.
in training camp, I think early I had Jennings higher, and then I moved Pearsall higher and I drafted him a lot.
No, it
But
made sense.
I mean, Pearsall's been good when he's been on the field.
You know who I've noticed that has been really bugging people? That we can say, "Let's go hard or go home" here. Jamison Williams.
Oh my
Go hard. He's
goodness.
been. I mean, I put out a video on my TikTok of just Jamison Williams and the panic meter that we have, and every comment is just like, he has not been helping me. I just have had to bench him, and that's just where you're at. And here's the thing that we said at the beginning of the season, Adam, with how many mouths they have to feed and how many good offensive weapons they have, you knew that someone was going to be the odd man out. And to start the year, things could change, right? Going through the rest of the season, we're only going into week 6, but the odd man out is Jamison Williams, and it is really hurting people in their teams.
Yeah, I did a guillotine mailbag where someone asked about Jamison Williams. I said he is the epitome of a awful guillotine player because the floor is low every single week, as we have
Yep.
seen. This is crazy because they paid him They gave him a contract. They talked him up all offseason. He looks great. We're going to get him involved more. We're going to dial up deep passes. And it just hasn't happened. He had one target against the Bengals last week. That was the week you figured, if any, all right, this is the week that he gets going. And look, he's going to have the big games. He might have it this week. He'll surprise us and go out against the Chiefs. But they haven't done a good enough job. Like, I don't know why they're not getting him the ball on slants. We saw it so well last year where you just get him the ball on a slant and he just uses his speed to pick up big chunks. And yeah, it's mind-boggling. He has 5 targets or fewer in 4 or 5 games. The one game he had 8 targets. He only had 2 catches for 40 yards. He has 1 touchdown on the season. Yeah, it's been brutal. He has 11 receptions in 5 games. So, look, you also knew, though, when you were drafting him, you knew that there were going to be games where he would be quiet. Now, you didn't expect it 4 out of 5 to start the year. This is just part of what it is with Jameson, where he can get 2 or 3 catches and have a great fantasy day. We just haven't seen it enough.
He's got a 13% targets per route run. 13%. It's just been such a massive disappointment for him so far this season. And he's a boomer bust. I think I don't boom bust wide receiver 4, low end wide receiver 4, however you want to look at it. I just don't think you can trust it right now. I just really don't.
Yeah, look, it's a tough situation because if you're in a deeper format, you might be forced to play him. I have him in one league. It's pretty deep starting lineups. I've been playing him reluctantly. I'm just glad that I didn't get him in his other league. I started to back off. Like, as we got closer to the season, he kept dropping down my rankings. I mean, maybe that was because I was moving like Igbuka up and Pickens up. But yeah, he started to really drop down my rankings because we talked about it too. We said someone in Detroit is going to lose. There's no way they were going to have all these guys being drafted in the top 6 rounds. All of them go off with Montgomery, Gibbs, St. Brown, Laporta. It wasn't going to happen. And right now, Jameson's the guy that's losing.
Williams. That was it's Jameson Williams so far. Maybe it changes. That was Go Hard or Go Home here, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Continuing on here on this Friday morning, afternoon, matchup highs and lows, going through some good matchups, some not so good matchups that you're going to have in week 6 coming up here next. This is Fantasy Life right here, Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you on this Friday morning, afternoon, getting you ready for week 6. And as always, fantasylife.com is getting you ready as well. You can check out all of our articles 100% free, all of our tools, our rankings, our projections, the start sit tool as well. One of my favorites to go through if you have big questions but can't get through, you're working. You can't get through on the phone lines. You can't message us right now. Make sure you go over there, fantasylife.com. Matchup highs and lows here, Adam, and what our expectations should be. Can we call for a big Tedero McMillan game or no? Is this the week? Can we finally have it? I mean, going up against the Cowboys, right? This should be it. I said the same thing last week, though, so maybe not.
Yeah, this should be the week.
Score a touchdown. Can we just get a Tedero McMillan touchdown?
That was I was going to say. This should be the week
without a touchdown. Yeah,
that he gets a touchdown this week. Yeah, I mean, he's wide receiver 33 in fantasy points per game, which is disappointing because he should be better in this with not much competition. The numbers, at least 8 targets in every single game, so you'll like that. But we want to see touchdowns. We want to see bigger performances, and a lot of it is on Bryce Young for sure. But Dallas has struggled against all aspects, whether it's running backs, receivers, but especially in the passing game, they're letting receivers get open deep continuously. So, yeah, this should be the week, I think, that McMillan gets in the end zone.
Let's hope so. He's the top deep threat as well. So he's got the team leading 7 targets, thrown at least 20 yards downfield. So when we look at stats like that, it plays well into this matchup too with the Cowboys because they've surrendered per ESPN 515 yards receiving 2 wide receivers on throws at least that deep. So 20 yards downfield. So this should be the week, Adam, right? Whenever we say that, though, what happens? Probably doesn't happen. What else? What else?
They've allowed 10 receiving touchdowns this year to receivers, and the only team that did not have a receiver touchdown against them was Philadelphia, but they're dysfunctional, so we don't count them.
That's disgusting. That's a horrible stat that we can look back on this year. That is
Romeo
awful.
Dobbs had 3.
Oh, God.
Luther Burden had 1.
I need to stop drafting.
Wandale Robinson. So, yeah, this should be the week for McMillan.
Come on, McMillan. We're rooting for you. Matchup. Well, so when I say avoid, usually, Adam, people can't avoid Derrick Henry. But what are your expectations for him going up against this Rams team? It looks like, again, Lamar Jackson with that hamstring. His availability is probably more than likely him not playing this week. That is something that we can say. And again, they have the week 7 bye. So it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills next week. So again, that makes it more likely that we don't see Lamar so that he can just continue, getting healthier, gets the week of rest there as well. Derrick Henry, though, I mean, because of Lamar Jackson not being out there, it does have an impact on Derrick Henry's performance. He's averaged 0.55 fantasy points per offensive snap played with Lamar Jackson. When he's on the field, though, when he's not, only 0.33 fantasy points per offensive snap. So it's been bad. What are you looking at here?
Well, if you started Derrick Henry every week, it's felt like he's been on bye because he's done nothing for you. 50 yards rushing or fewer in every game since week 1. And the one thing you are banking on with Henry, now look, the context of the Baltimore Ravens has changed drastically, right? If we're doing a draft today and someone told you, hey, most of their defense is going to be out, Lamar's out, you're like, oh, okay, that's not good for Derrick Henry. This is a tough matchup against the Rams, and if they fall behind, we have seen he's not on the field as much because they don't use him in the passing game. So clearly you're downgrading Derrick Henry. It really depends, though, on what you have, whether you can bench him. And I'm sure we're going to get some questions where he might be an option to bench. I know it's difficult, but you have to realistically look at it. And what are we expecting here? Because, is he even going to get 15 carries in this game? I mean, maybe
there's 7.5 point underdogs.
Right. Maybe they surprise. Look, what you need from Derrick Henry is what he gave you last week, which means find the end zone. Just get a touchdown. Because if he doesn't get a touchdown, it's going to be an ugly week. And maybe he finally breaks off a 45, 50-yard play. But teams are just not going to respect the passing game right now. And they're going to just load up the box looking to shut down Henry and make Cooper Rush beat them. And we saw last week.
Yeah.
It didn't go well. I mean, 15 carries, 33 yards. He did find the end zone for a touchdown. So, all right, he got you 9.3. The expectations are really lowered for Henry because of this situation. I do think, though, the Ravens offense will turn it around after the bye week once Lamar Jackson comes back. Maybe they get some healthy defenders as well, and the defense becomes a little bit better. But, yeah, you probably have Henry ranked like RB 21, 22, right?
He's a mid-range, honestly, till maybe low, mid-range RB2 for me this week. And it's just 7.5 point underdogs to the Rams. One of the lowest team totals on the slate as well, 18.5 points. You know who doesn't have to worry about this? Scott from Texas. Scott, who has Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor, Rachaad. He's benching Rachaad White. Scott doesn't have this problem. We have this problem. I know. We're going to continue. Shout out to Scott, though. It's just so jealous. Our favorite flex plays for the weekend. Some of these guys that you can dig deep and you might not feel comfortable doing it, but some of these guys are flex worthy going into week 6. Going to do our favorite, just our favorite picks from some of these games as well. We're going to break it down here next. You've made it. It's Friday. Congratulations. It's been a long week, Adam.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like these weeks really fly by, but I will say this. By the time Friday comes, I'm kind of wiped out. It's
tired?
Been it's just a lot to do every day.
I know. Big nap day. You can take a nap.
I gotta work on my bets for today.
Oh my God. This is why you can't sleep. You just got
Oh, that's true. But at least today should be pretty good. And then we got, the Mariners game tonight, so I'll watch that. And then tomorrow there's one baseball game, another game 5, Brewers Cubs. So
that'll be a good game too.
You said October's a great month. Hockey just started, basketball starts soon. You got college football, NFL, MLB. So it's a great time.
Really
sports is always good, but October's a really good month.
So fun. Don't text, don't call. Unless they win. If they
don't, all right, I won't bother you. If you text me saying something,
you.
then I'll respond. If not,
I usually when I text you during Mariners games, it's usually to complain. So you'll know when you see a text coming. I'm sick. I'm sick to my stomach. I can't.
So if Schoolbull strikes out 7 in the first 4 innings,
what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Why
would
you
look?
Say
he
that?
could still strike out a lot, and you guys win. His prop is 9.5 strikeouts.
Wow, is it really?
Yeah.
What's Kirby at? 4?
I didn't check.
6? No, 5.
Probably 5.5 would be my guess.
Yeah, I would say 5. Sick to my stomach. Can't take it.
So you're confident they're going to win?
I'm confident that they are going to win.
Okay, good.
Didn't that sound
It is
so
5.5
confident?
for Kirby.
Okay, 5.5 isn't bad. Listen, I'm just going to enjoy it. This is not fun though for people that are always in the playoffs. Don't know how you do this. Because this is not fun. But it'll be fine.
It is
It'll
fun
be
when you
fine.
win, but yes, there's a lot of nerves that go
Ooh.
into it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Nerves going into these starting flex players as well. I will say, you know what? One of my favorite ones now that the week has gone on and we've seen that Ricky Pearsall probably isn't going to go is Kendrick Bourne for the 49ers. Listen, we can't expect the career high 10 of 11 targets, catching 10 of 11 targets, 142 yards. We're not going to expect that, especially if they have Jauan Jennings back, which it does look like he is trending in the right direction there. But even with Ricky Pearsall out, and if it's Mac Jones, they have a connection. I won't do it, but maybe one of these days I will. Just to make
Once
you
the
happy.
Mariners win and you're all joyful and distracted.
I know. It would have been this week for you to get me. If it's an ALCS though, you might get me there. I won't be paying attention. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah, Kendrick Bourne. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Look, it's shaping up that Pearsall is likely out with this knee injury once again. We're waiting on Jennings. My guess is we could see Jennings play, but either way, look, Mac Jones has a good rapport with Bourne, right? So he's not going to have the game he had last week if Jennings suits up, but against Tampa Bay, you don't run on them. You got to pass the ball. They are one of the stout run defenses, and they'll throw, and that'll open up opportunities. We know McCaffrey, obviously, is going to get like 10 targets in the passing game. That's a given every single week. But I do think you'll see Jones target Kendrick Bourne. So, yeah, he's definitely someone that's in play. Even better if Jennings is out.
You want a really gross one? Flex play? You want to do Kareem Hunt?
Oh boy.
I think at this point we have to. You've got an over under sitting at 51.5. I think what's the team total for Kansas City? That's means what, 27? He's gonna find the end zone.
That's the thing.
And when he does,
he's so dependent on touchdowns though. I know he's getting them. Detroit though has been really good against the run. They have allowed though 4 rushing touchdowns.
I think Kareem Hunt might be in a flex spot this week for some people.
He could be.
Which could be really gross. It's going to be for me. I am some people.
Well, you already heard a couple of mine that are pretty bad.
Oh,
so
man.
we're all in those scenarios this week.
Can we just have a good regular fantasy week? You know, all the superstars score and we don't have to worry about a thing.
No injuries. How about that?
Oh, how about that? That would be amazing. I hope I have nothing to write about on the waiver wire next week. I hope we have nothing. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great, safe weekend. Enjoy your day today. We'll be back same time Monday.